All right, welcome back to the channel, guys. This is the first in a series of many videos that I'm going to do a deep dive using my expertise and my knowledge and everything else that has been acquired on these cars to help you find a good car or avoid one. These are going to be ones that pop up in public places like Auto Trader, Edmunds, Facebook Marketplace, etc. And they are the VINs, vehicle identification number, they're public information. So when you see these pop up for sale, obviously they provide the VIN. I'm going to tell you what I know on each of those as they pop up, and it will help in the future. Say 10 years from now, somebody will be Googling the VIN on a car to find out what's up with it. This video will pop up. So if you're watching this 10 years from now, here's what's going on with this car. This is VIN 2501. This is a 2017 USB ultrasonic blue mica 2.0. It's called 8X1 is the paint code. Has LA20 interior, which is a black leather semi-aniline interior with standard carbon fiber trim. I'm gonna tell you everything I know on it. So it has popped up, this is July 26th, 2025. And this car popped up on Auto Trader here in the US in Florida. And it has 64,500 miles. They're asking $53,000. So let's see what we know about it. I'm gonna jump back and forth between the video and me voiceovering because I'm gonna be showing you pictures and things like that as I go on. So the audio may change between my mic that I'm wearing and my mic that I have on my computer. But anyway, a couple things to know. AutoCheck, which is provided free on Auto Trader, shows this as a 2-owner, 1-accident vehicle. The accident shows in November 2021, doesn't describe the amount of damage. Carfax shows it as a 2-owner, 2-accident car. First one in April of 2020, front end damage, and November of 2021, and it does not specify. So you can assume it's a 2-owner, 2-accident vehicle. Now it does have some modifications. It has an intake tube and box. It has an aftermarket exhaust, looks like a Gretty exhaust. Front lip, rear ground effects. It does have the fender vent accents. It has black wheels. On 2017s, most of them had either the polished or the gray wheels. So being black wheels, it could be that they have been repainted or repowder coated, something like that. And it also has the chrome delete on the trim. So it has black trim. So let's talk about the service history first. So this is public information. If you don't know how to acquire the service history for these cars, all you have to do is go to the Lexus website, create a free account, put the VIN in, and then click on service history, and it will show you the complete service history done at Lexus for these cars. So that doesn't mean it's only been serviced at Lexus. Hopefully, if it's been serviced somewhere else at a third-party mechanic, or if it's done at home, whatever, I changed the oil on my car myself. That's not reported on Carfax or anything like that. So service history on this car, when you start looking at it, March of 2023, it had a passenger side motor mount replaced. Pretty unusual to start seeing motor mount replacements on these cars, but it is something that can fail. It also had lower control arm bushings replaced about 2 months prior, still at 60,000 miles. So this car in 2 years has only had 5,000 miles put on it. So that's something to note. It also has had, which is very common on these cars, the AC servo failure done at December 2022, also at 60,000 miles. So that involves taking the dash out. So if you were going to test drive this car, make sure there's no funny rattles or anything underneath or around the dash. It's probably related to having the dash out for the servo replacements. And again, that's not something to be concerned about. Just those 3 recent services, 2 of those are common issues that these cars have, so it's good to see that it's done. Lower control arm bushings, very common on these cars to fail. They're a liquid filled bushing that leaks, cracks, and then it causes wear on the front interior side of the tires, the inside front of the tires. So that's done. The AC servo failure, again, common issue. There was actually a customer service campaign, a CSP for that, to correct it, and they will honor the warranty. I believe it's out 10 years or 120 or 100,000 miles, something like that. But point being, that was probably done at no cost. Another thing that you find on the service history, sometimes they give you a little bit more information about the ownership of these cars. So the first owner of this was a corporate fleet. And there's a key giveaway when you look at the Carfax and things like that, that it was a Lexus-owned car. So it'll say whatever state it's registered in, but then it'll say Plano, Texas, or Torrance, California. Well, you know what's in Torrance, California and Plano, Texas? Toyota's headquarters until they moved to Plano, Texas. This car shows Lexus corporate fleet registered in Lexington, Kentucky. You know what else is in Lexington, Kentucky is Toyota's largest manufacturing facility. They make like 600,000 vehicles a year. So Toyota had an incentive for employees to have like a pretty low cost lease for, you know, cars that they wanted. And a lot of guys chose these cars. So this car was owned by a Toyota employee, and I'm not going to mention his name, but if you want to go look at the service history, you can find it and Google him. He was a production engineer assistant manager, or he is, should I say. But at the time he owned this car, he was a controls engineer for Toyota. So it was not a track car. And if you look at the service history, it's pretty apparent. It was just oil change, oil change, oil change, need some tires, need some brakes. You know, it's pretty standard service history that you would see for these cars. So, you know, it wasn't a press car, it wasn't tracked, it was a Toyota TMS lease that an employee owned that just happened to live in Kentucky. So it's pretty cool to see that the original owner of this was a Toyota employee. You know, he's got some pretty impressive credentials as well. So, you know, I don't think this is a car that was beat on, tracked, or abused, something like that. I think it was probably well taken care of, is obviously very well serviced at the Lexus dealer in Kentucky. And so if you dig into the service history, I don't see anything that would be cause for concern. The two accidents, one being the front, one being who knows, that other one could just be a windshield replacement, but the front obviously would be, there is at least one accident that I would investigate further on this car. So let's dig into the pictures. So obviously it has a few mods. That's mostly cosmetic other than an intake and an exhaust. Again, that's pretty common to see on these cars. These are enthusiast cars, enthusiast owned. So not any cause for concern there. As far as things to look for when you look, paint chips on the lower front carbon fiber piece, I don't see anything there. I'm not 100% sure if it has paint protection film on the front. Again, that's something that you would investigate if that's something that concerns you. I do see a few swirls in the paint, but you know, again, that can polish out. No problems there. Wear spots, you're gonna turn the wheels all the way each way, look at the inside of the front tires, make sure they're not worn. You're going to look at the shocks, make sure the shocks aren't leaking, because the 2017 to 2020 had that active damping and those were known to leak. And so all you have to do is just look at the shocks and make sure that they're not leaking. If they are, they're not crazy expensive to replace. Again, that's a maintenance item, so I wouldn't be concerned with that. When you look at the mods, there are RR Racing and Greddy exhaust. High quality parts, you know, these are not eBay parts that were put on this car. The lip and the front lip and the rear under spoiler, I don't know enough about all of the different options out there, but I do know there are some cheap ones out there and there are some very expensive ones. I would assume this is probably one of the latter, some of the more quality parts based on everything else I'm seeing on the car. Wear parts. Let's look at the driver's side seat bolster, the bottom and the top of the driver's side. Those are two pieces you always want to look at because they'll wear. Those pieces are expensive to replace, about $1,000 to $1,200 each for those. And as I know the details on how to replace those because I've done that on this car, putting the orange interior in. The big one, of course, with these cars always is the carbon fiber trim delaminating. In the service history, I do not see where it has been replaced at all. And it also doesn't have the ZLZ, ZLZ service campaign for the sticky or cracked dash done either. So if you are purchasing this, make sure you touch and feel that dash very carefully. If it's even the slightest bit sticky, Lexus will replace it. And they remove the dash, obviously. And it's a pretty involved at least a solid day for a service tech to replace. But they will do it no charge for you, 10 years from the date of manufacture. So 2017, you've still got another year and a half until that becomes an issue. But looking closer at the carbon fiber, I don't see, if it hasn't been blatantly obvious that it's delaminating, then you have to look at the edges, and it's almost always on the front 5 pieces. So that's the left and right door panels, that's the center console, and the 2 pieces on the dash. Those are where you're usually going to see it, and you'll see a little white starting around the edges, and that's where it is starting to delaminate, so you know that it's going to grow. Sometimes all it takes is one really cold night, and overnight it will just completely delaminate as to a large portion of it. And the reason that that is a big issue, those pieces, if you were to replace those 5 pieces, you're looking at about $8,000 or $9,000 at the dealer, plus labor to replace those. So they're very expensive. There are a couple companies, there's one in Florida that offers a refurbishment of those for $200 to $300 per part. So significantly less, because it is real carbon fiber, but it's a poor resin that they use, and that's what causes those to delaminate. So on this car, it looks okay, but I would just use caution, knowing, maybe put some money aside, know that if it hasn't done it yet, it will. I said, especially it's been in Florida, Kentucky and Florida its whole life. So if you take it up to a northern state, you buy it, bring it up to New York or Michigan or something like that, the first cold winter night you have, it's gonna delaminate. And it's not if, it's when, because it will do it. So other than that, this really looks like a great car. It has the Mark Levinson option. So these cars in the US 49, there were only 4 options. You had lighted door sills, you had Mark Levinson, you had the comfort and convenience package, which included the all-weather floor mats, a cargo net in the trunk, things like that, and then wheel locks. That's it. You had 4 options. We didn't get the power trunk. We didn't get the heated rear seats. We didn't get anything like that. So this car overall looks like a very good opportunity for someone. I think that for a 2017 with 65,000 miles, priced at $53,000 with no winter driving, so underneath should be pretty good shape, not a lot of corrosion or anything like that. I think it's priced right where it should be. Somewhere between 50 to 54,000, maybe even 55,000 would be a perfect price for this car. So them pricing it, it's an individual, it's not a dealer, priced at $53,000, I think is a fair price. Plus you have the benefit of the mods. To some people that adds value, some people it doesn't. To people like me, I just look at them as a freebie. I don't consider mods adding value unless it's something like a supercharger where it's a $10,000 modification or $20,000 set of wheels or something like that. But this is relatively stock, looks good, looks clean, and it has fantastic service history. The last Lexus service history was in 2023, which tells me that you may want to investigate and see if there is any other service history, or maybe it's somebody that's changed their oil at home. But again, these cars don't demand a lot. These cars are not like BMWs and Mercedes, where they spend every other waking hour when they get older in the shop. These cars are mostly reliable, other than the few things that I've talked about in other videos. But yeah, it's just, the control arms are done, the HVAC's done, some of the other updates, the fuel pump recall has been done, so it's ready to just get in and drive is what it looks like. Very clean car, very clean option. VIN 2501, go check it out. If you're seeing this 10 years from now, hit me up. My email's, of course, in the channel comments. So production information on this car, just in case you were curious. So it's paint code 8X1, which is ultrasonic blue, mica 2.0, USB 2.0, and LA20. There's 2,347 cars produced for the US 49 market. So that's every US state except Hawaii. Doesn't include Puerto Rico, Canada, Guam, Marshall Islands, nothing like that. Those are different markets. So out of the 2,347, 269 of them were blue, 122 were blue with black interior. Out of all the ones in the US 49, there's only 122 of these cars that exist. So the average mileage that you're going to see for a 2017 right now in July 2025, 49,865 miles, slightly above average with this one, but I would call it pretty close to average. The market for this car, 2017, 65,000 miles, $53,000. I think the price that they're asking is spot on. And the mods, I don't consider any value added with the mods. Maybe some people do, unless it's like a supercharger or it has a $20,000 set of forged wheels, something like that, or carbon ceramic brakes. I don't see any added value with the mods. I see them as that's cool. They're high quality mods. They're not the cheap eBay mods that you see, because there unfortunately are some cheap Chinese options for these cars for exhaust and body kits and things like that. But it does look like it's well done. It looks very clean, very well serviced, has a cool history for the first owner. And I think that a lot of the common issues have already been addressed on it, the control arms, the HVAC, etc. She's looking at something here. So I really think that other than the accident, just investigate the front end, make sure it was well repaired. It could have just been a bumper or a repaint from a scuff or something, but it was an accident reported, so there is obviously something to investigate. It was not a damage claim, it was an accident. Yeah, go check this one out, and if you're seeing this 10 years from now, let me know where you are, comment down below. But this definitely looks like one of the better options for cars that have an accident reported. Price is spot on, so go check it out. Again, not sponsored by anybody here, so I'm just doing my due diligence, trying to help you guys out. This definitely looks like one of the good ones. So thanks again for watching. We'll see you soon.